Greenland is an enormous island in the far north of the world. It is the largest island on Earth that is not a continent, sitting between the Arctic Ocean and the North Atlantic Oceans. Most of Greenland is covered by a giant ice sheet that makes up about 80% of its land, thicker and wider than many countries. Despite its icy name, Greenland is not always green. In most places, it is white with snow and ice year-round. Its name was given long ago by a Viking named Eric the Red, perhaps to make it sound more inviting to people who might want to settle there. Only a small part of Greenland is ice-free. That is where nearly all of its people live. About 56,000 people call Greenland home, making it one of the most sparsely populated lands on Earth. Most are Inuit, indigenous people whose ancestors have lived here for thousands of years and adapted their way of life to the Arctic climate. Greenlanders have a strong connection to their environment. Many traditional activities, such as hunting, fishing, and dog sledding, reflect this close bond with nature. The culture is rich with stories, arts, and community traditions that celebrate survival and skill in one of the world's toughest places to live. Greenland is also part of the Kingdom of Denmark, but governs most of its own affairs. Even with modern towns like the capital, Nuuk, life here still feels connected to the icy land and sea. Greenland has one of the coldest climates on Earth. For most of the year, temperatures are below freezing. Winters are long, dark, and icy. In many places, the sun disappears completely for weeks. This is called the polar night. During this time, skies are often lit by the northern lights, or aurora borealis, glowing waves of color that dance across the sky. The ice sheet that covers most of Greenland helps keep the island cold. Even in summer, thick layers of ice reflect sunlight back into the sky. Along the coast, where people live, temperatures are a little warmer, but even then, summer days usually feel like spring or fall in other parts of the world. The average summer temperature in Nuuk, the capital, is only 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. In many towns, snow can fall in every month of the year, and strong Arctic winds make the air feel even colder. Because of the harsh climate, everyday life in Greenland is shaped by the weather. People wear thick clothing, travel carefully, and plan activities around storms or snow conditions. Living here means respecting the cold and learning how to thrive in it. In Greenland, daily life is shaped by the land, the weather, and tradition. Most people live in small towns or villages along the coast, where it's slightly warmer than the icy interior. Homes are brightly colored and often built on rocky hills. There are no roads between towns, so people travel by boat, snowmobile, or even dog sled in winter. Because the land is so cold and frozen, farming is almost impossible. Instead, many families rely on fishing and hunting to get food. Fish like halibut and sea animals like seals are part of many meals. In the north, hunters still use traditional tools and skills passed down through generations. In small communities, stores are few and far between. Supplies must be brought in by ship or air, so everyday items can be expensive. People often help each other, sharing food or tools, especially during the long, harsh winters. Children go to school like anywhere else, but their days might include sledding on snow hills, learning Greenlandic traditions, or helping with fishing. Even in the capital city, Nuuk, life stays close to nature. Many people wear thick fur-lined coats, and weather reports are important. Storms and snow can quickly change travel plans. Surviving and thriving in Greenland isn't easy, but for the people who live here, it's a way of life, built on community, courage, and deep respect for the Arctic world around them. Greenland is one of the most wild and untouched places on Earth. Much of the island is covered by a massive ice sheet, taller than skyscrapers and stretching over valleys and mountains. In winter, snow covers almost everything, but in summer, along the coast, small patches of green appear. You'll find moss, tiny flowers, and hardy grasses growing between the rocks. Despite the icy landscape, Greenland is home to many tough and amazing animals. One of the most powerful is the polar bear, which roams the far north, hunting seals on sea ice. These bears are strong swimmers and travel great distances in search of food. On land, you might see Arctic foxes, musk oxen, or even reindeer. These animals have thick fur to survive freezing temperatures. In the sea, life is just as rich. Greenland's waters are home to whales, seals, walruses, and fish like halibut and cod. Many coastal birds nest on cliffs or dive for food in icy waves, like the puffin with its bright beak and flapping wings. Even in such a cold place, nature thrives, but it's also fragile. Climate change is causing Greenland's glaciers to melt faster, which can affect animals and the people who depend on them. Greenlanders have always lived closely with the land and sea. They respect wildlife, using only what they need and protecting the Arctic balance. In Greenland, nature isn't just beautiful, it's essential for life. Greenland's culture is shaped by Inuit traditions, Arctic nature, and a long history of survival in the cold. Most Greenlanders are Kalalit, the indigenous people of the island. Their ancestors have lived here for thousands of years, passing down skills, stories, and values through generations. One of the most important ideas is community. People work together, share what they have, and help each other through tough winters. Traditional clothing, once made from sealskin and furs, was designed to keep people warm in harsh weather. Even today, some Greenlanders wear handmade boots or jackets during special celebrations. Music and storytelling have always been part of life. In the past, elders would tell myths and legends to teach children about nature, danger, and respect. One traditional form of music is drum dancing, where a singer uses a large drum train to keep rhythm while performing songs from the community. Many people still enjoy traditional foods like seal, fish, and whale. These meals connect them to their ancestors in the Arctic environment. During national holidays, families gather to eat, wear traditional clothes, and celebrate with folk dances and music. Greenland's culture also blends old and new. In towns like Nuuk, you'll find modern art, hip-hop music, and digital media alongside ancient crafts like carving or beading. Even with modern changes, Greenlandic traditions stay strong. They remind people who they are and how they've lived in balance with nature for centuries. Today, life in Greenland is a mix of old traditions and modern living. In towns like Nuuk, Sisimiut, and Ilulissat, people live in colorful houses, go to school, shop at local stores, and use the internet. You'll find schools, hospitals, and even universities, though services can be limited in smaller villages. Many Greenlanders have jobs in fishing, government, or tourism, and some work in newer fields like energy or media. But even in cities, the Arctic environment plays a big role. Boats are often used more than cars, and weather can quickly cancel flights or school. Living here also brings challenges. Groceries and goods are expensive because most things must be flown or shipped in from far away. There's also a shortage of housing in growing towns like Nuuk, which makes it hard for some families to find homes. In small coastal villages, young people sometimes leave to study or work in bigger towns, leading to fewer jobs and services in rural areas. Greenland is also dealing with the effects of climate change, as warming temperatures melt sea ice and change traditional hunting seasons. But many people are working to create solutions. Greenlanders are proud of their land and culture, and young leaders are speaking up about education, environment, and equal opportunities. Modern life in Greenland is full of progress and pressure, but it's also full of strong people who are finding their own path forward in one of the world's toughest environments. Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, but it's not the same as being a regular region or province. It's called an autonomous territory, which means it governs itself in most areas but still has ties to Denmark. Long ago, Denmark took control of Greenland during the colonial period. For many years, decisions about Greenland were made in Copenhagen, Denmark's capital. But over time, Greenlanders pushed for more independence. In 1979, they were granted home rule, and in 2009, they gained even more control through self-government. Today, Greenland has its own parliament, flag, and prime minister, and makes decisions about education, health, natural resources, and more. However, Denmark still helps with defense, foreign policy, and financial support. Greenland and Denmark share close connections. Danish is one of Greenland's official languages, and many Greenlanders study or work in Denmark. Still, some Greenlanders feel strongly about protecting their culture, land, and future, and discussions about full independence continue today. This relationship is complex but cooperative. Greenland is carving its own path while still working alongside Denmark, balancing tradition, modern life, and the dream of greater independence.